"Father, how are you?" I asked, as soon as I could utter a word. I knew he could not be far from me. "Well," answered a distant voice which seemed to come from another world. I tried to sleep. He tried to sleep. Was he right or wrong? Could one sleep here? Was it not dangerous to allow your vigilance to fail even for a moment, when at any minute death could pounce upon you? I was thinking of this when I heard the sound of a violin. The sound of a violin in this dark shed where the dead were heaped on the living. What madman could be playing the violin here at the brink of his own grave? Or was it really an hallucination? It must have been Juliet. He played a fragment from Beethoven's concerto. I had never heard sounds so pure in such a silence. How had he managed to free himself, to draw his body from under mine without my being aware of it? It was pitch dark. I could hear only the violin, and it was as though Juliet's soul were the bow. He was playing his life. The whole of his life was gliding on the strings. His last hopes, his charred past, his extinguished future. He played as he would never play again. I shall not forget Juliet. How could I forget that concert given to an audience of dying and dead men? To this day, whenever I hear Beethoven played, my eyes close, and out of the dark rises the sad, pale face of my Polish friend, as he said farewell on his violin to an audience of dying men. I do not know for how long he played. I was overcome by sleep. When I awoke in the daylight, I could see Juliet opposite me, slumped over, dead. Near him lay his violin, smashed, trampled, a strange, overwhelming little corpse. We stayed at Gleiwitz for 3 days. 3 days without food or drink. We were not allowed to leave the barracks. SS men guarded the door. I was hungry and thirsty. I must have been very dirty and exhausted, to judge from the appearance of the others. The bread we had brought from Buna had long since been devoured, and who knew when we would be given another ration? The front was following us. We could hear new gunshots again, very close, but we had neither the strength nor the courage to believe that the Nazis would not have time to evacuate us, and that the Russians would soon be here. We heard that we were going to be deported into the center of Germany. On the third day at dawn, we were driven out of the barracks. We all threw blankets over our shoulders like prayer shawls. We were directed toward a gate which divided the camp into two. A group of SS officers were standing there. A rumor ran through our ranks, a selection. The SS officers did the selecting, the weak to the left, those who could walk well to the right. My father was sent to the left. I ran after him. An SS officer shouted at my back, "Come back here!" I slipped in among the others. Several SS rushed to bring me back, creating such confusion that many of the people from the left were able to come back to the right, and among them my father and myself. However, there were some shots and some dead. We were all made to leave the camp. After half an hour's marching, we arrived right in the middle of a field divided by rails. We had to wait for the train to arrive. The snow fell thickly. We were forbidden to sit down or even to move. The snow began to form a thick layer over our blankets. They brought us bread, the usual ration. We threw ourselves upon it. Someone had the idea of appeasing his thirst by eating the snow. Soon the others were imitating him. As we were not allowed to bend down, everyone took out his spoon and ate the accumulated snow off his neighbor's back. A mouthful of bread and a spoonful of snow. The SS who were watching laughed at this spectacle. Hours went by. Our eyes grew weary of scouring the horizon for the liberating train. It did not arrive until much later in the evening. An infinitely long train, composed of cattle wagons with no roofs. The SS pushed us in, 100 to a carriage. We were so thin. Our embarkation completed, the convoy set out.